have that?
And we'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, it's just don't worry about it.
It doesn't look like it runs.
I wanted to worry.
I don't know whose it is. He had one in the back.
Okay.
This don't run. It's covered by weeds.
Okay, I'll ask Diane to call the roll, please.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Duquette?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Berwin?
Here.
Mr. Randall?
Present, thank you.
Mr. Favreau, our town attorney? Mr. Gwinnett, our new married man, since I saw a wedding band, zoning officer? Mrs. Marino, our recreation director? Tyler Jarvis, our deputy highway superintendent? Chaka, our dog control officer and part of Team Babe. Helen Nurska, our historian. Courtney Tatro, our water and sewer superintendent. Mr. Farrell, our highway superintendent. Ms. Barber, our confidential secretary to the board, and our guests.
Thank you.
And I'm Diane Miller, the town clerk.
Thank you. All present. I'd ask, item number 4, I'd ask for a motion approving the minutes of the regular meeting, the last one, which was April 14th. So Eric and Mel. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Most of the minutes are accepted.
Man, how'd you get so high up on the agenda?
Item 5.
Sorry, no one signed it. There you go. Easy night.
Okay, under item 5, community input, no one is asked specifically to address the board this evening. Item 6, we'll move on to, happy to welcome Mark D. Consentes. Did I get it right? Who's going to give us an update on the highway culvert projects that the Engineering Ventures firm is currently engaged in preparing plans for each one of, I believe, are at least 4 or 5 urgent roads. We've got 4 or 5 more that are a little less urgent.
Yeah.
So I understand. So Mark, you have the floor.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just want to know, I wanted to just give an update because we haven't really spoken with you since October when we kind of laid out this whole plan. But we have 3 of them that are ongoing right now. The Lyons Road culvert, the northern end of Lyons Road, right before the town of Plattsburgh, and the Fuller Road culvert on right before Bear Swamp Road, right north of Bear Swamp Road. Those have been, plans have been completed and we've submitted to the Army Corps and the DEC on those. Those are more of the simple ones. We don't expect too much pushback from them. But once we receive those back, we'd be ready to go, out to bid. And we could do that over the next month or so.
Nice.
So it'd be nice to get those 2 out of the way. I guess I had shared with Mike, for both of these culverts, a lot of times we give our engineers estimate of costs for them after we get all the information in from the culvert supplier, and we take into, we're not cost estimators, but we call it our opinion of costs for it, and so it just gives the town an idea of how much that they would be going for bond, to put in for the bond for these projects. So we came up with Lyons Road would be somewhere around 670,000 for Lyons. Sorry, these numbers. I'm sorry to make you nervous with these.
It'll make me nervous.
670.
We're doing it anyway, so don't worry about it.
And the Fuller Road culvert is coming in around 770,000. And that's again including all engineering costs, testing, construction.
Guesstimates, right, Mark?
Yes.
Would you say Fuller was and so?
Would Fuller?
770.
770 for Fuller.
Right.
Those are kind of in line. I mean, they're a little steeper, but than what we've done recently very hard to predict prices right now, so that's why I kind of go very conservative on those too. So hopefully when we see estimates come in from the site work, it comes in a little lower. But again, this is just a very preliminary thing at this point. So for those two, the big one we want to talk about is Westcott Road, and mainly that's just the much more difficult project. I think at the last town board meeting, Mike had brought up the idea of rerouting that road slightly and doing a one-lane bridge.
Absolutely.
And I think everyone's in support of that. Well, the main thing that does is it cuts down on the actual length of the culvert, because this is a wide one. This is going to be 39 feet wide and 10 feet high. We did get pricing for a precast structure and for an arch, corrugated steel arch structure through Contec, which is the supplier for it. And I know we've always been saying these concrete structures are great, and they really are for a lot of reasons. This project, we're going to see some heavy site costs with this. And I've been talking with Mike. I think as long as everyone's okay, I think we would like to opt with the corrugated steel for this one. We're talking a difference between $260,000 for a precast culvert and $60,000 to $70,000 for a arch there. A lot of times we don't like putting arch culverts in because their lifespan isn't as long. Factors that can really make a difference on that, not just the stream and the amount of sediment, but even like traffic on top of it. And given that Westcott Road only has 6 houses there, we don't expect much traffic on that.
So you only put one? They make them that big?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, again, I'm working with Contec on it. There's still some things that we're figuring out, but if everyone's in support of that, then I think that's the route that we go. Because one of the things we're doing with that is we're going to have to, in order to keep that road open, we have to construct a temporary road just think of it on the one side of the road. And the reason we're going with a one-lane bridge is because we can, while we construct that temporary, then we can actually install the new section of culvert and not impact the temporary, hopefully. This will be dependent on if the Army Corps allows this, because we're going to actually be doing more modifications to the stream through there. So this one, I'm trying to get these plans submitted and ready to go to the Army Corps. This one might lag a little bit behind the other two, which, doesn't mean we can't do it this year. I just know that I'd like to get the other two out because they're more straightforward. And so, yeah, that's just kind of where we're at.
excellent. Definitely in with the steel because of the traffic situation. No sense spending an extra $200,000 for,
Sure.
there's no traffic, that's for sure. So.
Does that get buried in the stream bed differently?
No, it wouldn't. It's just going to be it'll be on concrete footings.
Yeah.
But I don't quite know how these get installed. I feel like the fabrication costs are at the site is probably a little bit more difficult.
Come in pieces, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Maybe
when-
erected
when-
both
inside.
of them together.
When
Yeah,
precast
pliable.
comes in, they just kind of slide them right off and
Yeah,
they
set 'em.
almost lock right in. But I just don't. And I can come back and we can maybe, because I think the right move for this is to not reach out to Contec to have them start fabricating this until we know that we can get this one
Right.
permitted. Because this one we could have to go back to the full length of the stream, and that makes a major difference in the cost. So that's why I'm saying this one might lag a little bit behind. But yeah. So any questions or?
Good.
Yeah, and that's, just so you know, and anybody that's on the board here knows, but Petersville's a little different animal weather-wise. Usually we're plowing up there 3 weeks or so before the rest here, so depending on weather, so that it has to go the next year, it has to go the next year. It's one of them things. Hopefully we can get it in.
I mean, safe enough for another year
Yeah,
for the people?
yeah.
The traffic?
The environmental part with the DEC and Army Corps, crap shoot, how long it takes.
Been there already, so we know that.
Is the thought utilizing the old bridge as a temporary bridge by navigating over a little bit more, or no?
There's no
So
bridge there.
there isn't, it's just a
Oh, so
road
just
there.
culvert,
Yeah,
that's
just a
culvert.
road.
So utilize
So,
the culvert, I
yeah,
should say.
so what we would actually be doing is aligning the road so that we're right along the right-of-way line and pretty much over the top of the new culvert when we go in. And then we would actually construct a temporary road over some of the existing culverts so that during construction, we have a way for water to get
Coming
through.
out.
And then afterwards, we'd have to take that out and we could rip that other culvert out and do the stream modifications there. But there's not a lot of options. We looked into temporary bridges. There's a lot of, this is a very
Well, the span.
wide span. Especially when you get back with how much you're gonna have to excavate because of how deep it is out there. So this is about the only practical way of doing some type of.
It's a good option, hopefully the Corps goes along with it.
That's why I want to get this in as soon as possible. I don't, right now, if they have an alternative, then they're gonna have, they'll have to suggest it, but we've looked at it a few different ways, and this is the one that keeps looking like the best
I
option.
should save town some money, that's not a bad thing.
No, thank you, Mark.
Well,
Thank you.
But I would guess at this point, you probably don't even want to venture a guess as to what the estimated cost might be.
Looking at the other ones, I could see the site construction costs for these being up, 700, 800,000 for these. But, when you add in the cost of the structure itself, it's not too far off from the other ones. But again, I've only had costs for what I've kind of got
Yeah,
totally
as you
figured out at
pointed
this
It's
point.
dependent upon whether you can actually go to one lane.
Yes. So I will try to update this as soon as possible and send this to Mike so that he can get that in front of everybody.
Excellent.
Any other questions? Board?
Perfect.
Mike, thank you very much.
Go visit some relatives.
Appreciate the update and-
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, you guys don't need to be here anymore, do you?
Thank you.
Only for good news.
Thank you very much.
Mark, do you by chance, is that on notes or is that just,
They're just spreadsheets I sent to Mike. If you want, I can send them to.
if you wouldn't mind,
Sure.
so I could have them for the minutes?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
The next four items all have to do with the upcoming construction of the wastewater plant, taken in the order they presented. Item number 7 is a resolution involving the general contract. I'd ask for a motion to put the resolution on the table.
I'll make it.
And Jim.
A resolution authorizing the award of general contractor contract and alternate GC1 and GC2 to Renee Building Contractors and execute the contract for the PWWTP upgrades and disinfection for the town of Peru.
Makes it
Whereas
official.
notice of award has been duly given as required by law for the WPCP unit process upgrades and disinfection for the town of Peru as described in the plans and specifications. And whereas the bids are the best and lowest responsible bid for the general contractor contract by Renee Building Contractors for the designated public improvement. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of the Town of Peru, the Supervisor of the Town of Peru, New York, are hereby authorized and directed to execute the general contractor contract for the base bid and alternate GC1 and GC2 with Renee Building Contractor. The contract will be with Renee Building Contractors for $7.775 million. GC1, $1,250,000, GC2, $279,000. The alternates, as a result of this resolution, shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Dukenz?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall?
Yes.
Okay.
Item number 8 is a similar resolution involving the electrical aspects of the wastewater plant upgrade project. Ask again for a motion to put it on the table.
I'll make it.
A second.
Eric and Craig.
A resolution authorizing the award of electrical contract and alternate E1 to Triangle Electrical Systems and execute the contract for the PWWTP upgrades and disinfection for the town of Peru. Whereas notice of award has been duly given as required by law for the WPCP unit process upgrades and disinfection for the town of Peru as described in the plans and specifications. And whereas the bids are the best and lowest responsible bids for the electrical contractor contract paragraph, parentheses E, by Triangle Electrical Systems for the designated public improvement. Now therefore be it resolved by the board of the town of Peru, the supervisors hereby authorized and directed to execute the electrical contract for the base bid and alternate E-well with Triangle Electrical Systems. Contract will be awarded to Triangle Electrical Systems for the base bid of $1,210,350. Alternate E1, $132,450. Be resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall?
Yes. Item number 9, same project. Ask for a motion to place it on
Make the motion.
discussing the plumbing contract.
Second it.
I'll make it.
A resolution authorizing the award of plumbing contract P and alternate P1 to John W. Danforth Company to execute the contract for the PWWTP upgrades and disinfection for the town of Peru. Whereas notice of award has been duly given as required by law for the WPCP unit process upgrades and disinfection for the town of Peru as described in the plans and specifications. And whereas the bids are the best and lowest responsible bid for the plumbing contractor contract P by John W. Danforth Company for the designated public improvement, now therefore be it resolved by the board of the town of Peru. The supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to execute the plumbing contract for the base bid and alternate P1 with John W. Danforth. And that's the contract. The contractor is John W. Danforth Company. Base bid $5,487,500 with alternates of $160,500. Result of this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall?
Yes.
Thank you.
And finally, item number 10, request a motion placing on the table the related mechanicals for the upgraded wastewater plant.
Make that.
Motion?
I'll second that motion. Glad we have it.
A resolution accepting bids and authorizing the award of mechanical contract M and alternate M1 to K&L Plumbing and Heating and execute the contract for the PWWTP upgrades and disinfection for the town of Peru, whereas notice of award has been duly given as required by law for the WPCP unit process upgrades and disinfection for the town of Peru as described in the plans and specifications, and whereas the bids are the best and lowest responsible bid for mechanical contract M for the designated public improvement. Now therefore be resolved by the board of the town of Peru, the supervisor of the town of Peru is hereby authorized and directed to execute the contract for base bid and alternate M1 with the contractor listed below. That contractor is K&L Plumbing and Heating. Base bid $1,060,000, alternate $96,000. Be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
I'm sorry. Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This takes care of the contract requirements for the update of the wastewater plant. And I think it's fair to say that we can anticipate that we'll see activity there within a month.
Excellent.
Which will
Great ground.
actually comply with the DEC's mandate that we be under construction by July 1st.
Excellent.
Congratulations on that part.
Yeah.
Okay. Item 11 is a request from the Highway Department, I believe, for the purchase of a new welder. Could we have a motion to put this resolution on the table?
I will.
I'll second it.
Eric and Craig.
A resolution to purchase a Miller-Matic 252 MIG welder for the purpose of repair and maintenance of equipment by the town of Peru Highway Department. Whereas the town of Peru Town Board of the town of Peru Highway Superintendent has found the need to replace the current MIG welder which has reached its end of life, the town board has approved the purchase of a new Miller-Matic 252 MIG welder for the purpose of repairing and maintenance of equipment more efficiently and safely. Whereas the bid received on April 14, 2025 from Han Welding, supply was the lowest of 5 bids at $4,500 to furnish a new Miller-Matic 252 MIG welder and includes delivery. Whereas the town board and the highway department superintendent have determined to purchase the welder from Han Welding Supply. And now be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. The town supervisor is authorized to sign all paperwork to execute this purchase as soon as possible.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Duquette?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall?
Yes.
Just a question on that. You don't have a MIG there already? That's brand
We
new.
did, that, it wasn't working, so we had to send it back, send it back, I bought that when I first took over, paid a little over 4,000, so they had to send it away. The motherboard and battery more about all than I do, and There was another part done, it was over $2,000, I said stop. Because we only paid $4 for it, so I got 5 estimates for a new welder. It's Tyler, I'm telling the parts for,
It
There's
doesn't matter.
two motherboards inside, and the way they explained it to me on the phone is that was as far as they went, because it's like $150 an hour or something like that to look at this welder. The 2 motherboards alone were about $2,500, and that's not even saying that that was going to fix the problem. The 212 that we had, they said they were very known for those problems. Get a screen in the front sometimes, which the guys now know about. Sometimes little metal particles fly around, they get in there and they end up shorting the motherboard out. It's not something we can really stop, it just, it happens. And so the new design of the new machine, the 252, Mike and I had went to Han and tried to price out a couple that would suit us best. 235, which we priced out, will not weld some of the steel thicknesses that we weld in the shop, so the 252 is the next.
And you still got a stick, right?
Actually, we have the old Lincoln, which we put a little bit of money into that welder over the years, and we got it back up and running, but that thing is a dinosaur, and if it ever goes, we're not getting parts for it. But it welds beautifully.
This, the new one will weld stuff that the stick would normally cover.
So the new one, the old welder we're getting back. We're taking our old spool gun off of the old welder, which will attach to the new welder. So it's saving us for a whole option. We're saving that cost.
So you just have to buy a unit only.
Just buying the MIG welder. We're taking our options off the old welder that still work.
Perfect. Good.
Any other questions or?
Yeah, now, all your questions answered?
Okay, item number 12.
Questions?
No resolution required, strictly a discussion item, but as you know, we have been regularly providing a project status report on the replacement of the Telegraph Road Bridge over Dry Mill Brook on a regular basis. We have the current report from CNS companies, basically it indicates no significant change in terms of the progress of the work. We're still targeting August to advertise the project, put it out for bid, and get going on that. I'm sure a lot of people will wish that August would come faster, but it's coming.
You're not here tonight.
Any questions on that?
Nope, looks good, thank you, sir.
Item number 13, during the recent weeks, we were approached by the Adirondack North Country Association and representatives for Hamilton, which is a community solar project being located out here on, I believe, Mannix Road. I'm getting good at I'm starting to remember names. Give me a little more time. At this point, I had hoped to have a final contract with all the names and stuff inscribed. That is still a couple of days away. So we have a choice tonight. We can either grant approval of this based upon Matt's review of the structure of the agreement, or we can table this for 2 weeks until our next board meeting, if that's your wish.
I'd ask that you table it, so we have a complete contract.
I'm fine with table, yeah.
The form of this is okay, I reviewed the form that they sent. It's a great idea, it's not, I don't think, nearly as big a monetary savings as they want you to believe it's gonna be. It's gonna be better than nothing, and it's solar, so that's good. That's good for the environment, but it's not like we're gonna see a huge reduction in utility bills here. I just want everybody to be aware that there's no problem, I don't think there's any detriment to doing it, it's just not gonna be a huge monetary windfall. But I'd rather see the finalized contract that we're gonna approve, and have everybody look at it before we approve a sample
Before we do
contract.
that,
I'll make the motion to table it.
Yep.
Because she had said that it's like $500 a month. That's what she had said, like $6,000 a year, we figured.
7,000 we're working with, but it isn't the end of the world, but it's one more of those little savings.
Yeah.
7 and 7 and 7, it adds up.
Who was
And
the
we're
second
involved
one?
with
Did you second it, Eric?
Yes.
Okay, thank
And
you.
we're involved with being one of the charters too,
Yeah, well,
with the community events.
That's
so.
right. And, I think it looks good for us to be supporting, for sure, that our local residents are making. They are making, I would add that, well, 7,000 is the end of the world here. That the average residential customer that qualified initially for the program probably is saving 20% on their electric bill. So
Not terrible.
all taken into consideration, I would say that it's a win for the town of Peru.
Yeah.
This is something we're gonna look at in a workshop also
We'll have time to put it in the workshop.
for the 2 weeks.
So if we have a motion to table on
Yeah,
that.
the guy, Craig and Aaron.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, item 14, just a discussion and a motion is needed. Involves the rehiring of one of our seasonal employees.
Man.
Coming back, I think, in Courtney's department.
Yep.
Along with the advent of green grass again and mowing of our cars, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll make a motion to rehire absolutely.
I'll second that.
Absolutely. Excellent.
Yep.
I'm sorry, who seconded it? And what's the rate? I'm not sure that's gonna be asked.
Yeah, can we clarify the rate on that? It's not going to be the seasonal rate. When we budgeted, we kind of talked about Luke would get the same pay scale he was at when he left, full-time
And what
labor.
was that?
I don't know what it is this year.
I can go look.
Well, no, I can just imagine the question, so.
Of all the people you've hired, I mean, you get your more bang for the buck out of Luke.
Yeah, I
than
mean,
anybody.
Luke definitely deserves to make, he worked for the town for a
Yeah,
long time,
yeah.
more than the $17, $18 an hour for the seasonal rate.
Yeah, we were fine with that anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's this year.
I
I'll
can
just
go
put-
look if you
No,
want
I'll
me
just
to.
put at rate.
Did you not indicate the rates have been determined, though?
I'm gonna say it's gotta be around 22, 21.
We should either reference a rate if it's in a particular aspect of the budget that's already stipulated, or if not, we probably should put the rate in.
People are gonna ask.
Yeah, when we let him go as full-time, we still budgeted.
He retired, right? You didn't let him go, he retired, right?
Yes.
He just got done. He didn't retire. He got done. And I think we budgeted 2/3 of his pay or somewhere around there so we could have him as emergency on-call. He's come in twice already this year to help out when we needed it.
I do recall
But
that.
he doesn't get any of his full-time benefits anymore.
Right.
He doesn't get the health insurance option or the insurance buyout or vacation or sick time.
That's a fairly common way of keeping somebody as a resource when you need them.
Okay.
Well, he's, he's
He's a
trained.
sweetheart.
Good work. He's a very good worker.
Yes, he is.
And he's worked for us at least 10 years, I'd say.
Can we move on, or we have to wait?
So you're saying that this would be at the same hourly rate that he finished?
Whatever
up
the, yeah.
With the pay
Yeah,
raise?
Pam's getting it right now, so
With
we
the
can
raise.
write it down. So we'll hold on.
Not the seasonal rate, which is a lot less. You know, seasonal rate's probably 17, 18. I think Luke was
Is he gonna be the only part-timer you're gonna hire?
most likely. We'll see how the season goes.
2216.
22.16 was his hourly rate.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, Pam. Got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Absolutely.
Okay. Motion to rehire Luke Bissett at 22.16 an hour is passed. One more resolution. This has to do with the placement of porta potties in our various locations, parks, sporting fields, 45 locations. I could have a motion to put the resolution on the table.
Oh, I'll make the
please.
motion. I love porta
We
potties.
have a second, Jim.
A resolution awarding the rental of porta potties for the town parks to Draco Sanitation LLC for the 2025 season. Whereas the town board has received 3 bids in its response, 3 or 4? 4. Has received 4 bids in response to its request for same in connection with the rental of porta potties for the 3 town parks for the 2025 season. Whereas the town board agrees that Draco Sanitation was the lowest bidder on the services request, now therefore be it resolved that the bid of Draco Sanitation LLC to provide porta potty rental services for the town parks of $625.00 per month is hereby accepted, and the town supervisor is hereby authorized to execute any further documentation necessary to facilitate and/or consummate the bid contract for a price not to exceed this amount, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Dreamer. Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Dukek?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Randall, please.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you.
Where's those guys out of? Really?
What was the name again?
Draco.
Oh, whatever, Casella.
Dear.
Courtney, that's through September or August?
August,
Oh,
or October.
thank you.
Pick up in November.
Perfect. Couple of things. One was a lot more than the rest. Got quite a few porta potty people out there.
Some competition.
Yes.
If there's no further discussion on that topic, we'll move on to item 16, other business. Town council members, is there any items that you wish to bring up this evening?
I'm good.
Okay.
Set.
I'm good.
Move on to item 17. And that's our department head discussion for this evening. I'll start with Mike Farrell.
None.
Oh, my God.
Well, that should shorten the meeting by half an hour.
Courtney, got to you real quick.
I don't have much. Obviously, the spring weather's here. Mowing started today. We'll start getting the lawns mulch and stuff, all the landscaping in the next, hopefully, week, 2 weeks. We've done some work on the disc golf, trying to get that further along. Met today with AES and DEC. They came out and delineated all the wetlands at the wastewater project, so that's moving forward. There will be a pre-construction meeting here Wednesday at 10 or 10:30.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
I think it's 9, right?
Yeah, I thought, well, today's meeting is 10, so 10, no, it's 10. I think it's 10. So hopefully.
Can you email us that? So that-
Hopefully after Wednesday, I have a construction schedule. Hoping we're starting here in the next few weeks in May.
You did do a printed document, a notice to the community.
Yes, that's the other thing we've worked on. Pam and Craig will work on a publication to put out notifying the residents there will be, a lot more traffic on North Bench Street. We'll get it on the Gazette, get it on our webpage, and we'll probably hand deliver it to North Bench Street so they all get it.
Are you
We'll
doing,
wait till after Wednesday to see if they'll tell us their working hours, and maybe we can put that in there.
are you doing no mow May again?
Wednesday at 10. Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 10.
Are you all set down there with the landing area and the turning and unloading?
We've cleared all the landing area, cleared some trees, made it bigger, moved a pile of dirt. We actually even cleared the roadway where the new water main's going, and got the lagoon completely pumped out to help out the contractor, so hopefully we can get back on track and get things back on schedule.
Excellent. Break ground, let's go.
And the water plant, we're supposed to start our pilot program the end of this month, that we've been bumped now to June to do our pilot with the filter system. That's on hold.
Thank you, Courtney. Pam, anything you want to comment on today?
No.
Okay, so we'll move on to Ellen.
Three things. The history chats are now up on our town website, which people have been looking at. Thank you very much to John for making this all happen. And we're doing a walking tour of Peru on May 31st, starting at 10 o'clock here at Town Hall outside. A couple-hour tour was really successful last year, so we have a couple more things, a few more things we want to show people. So we're going to do a repeat. And there will be a corner of the Babby, Babby will have a Peru exhibit. We'll have a Peru exhibit at this year again. It'll be smaller than it was last year, but it's fine. So at least we're there. That's it.
Thank you.
I did have one more thing I forgot. Closure of the basements. You done?
I'm done.
Okay, sorry. I did meet with a contractor today to try to get a price on what it's gonna cost, because get demo on that building, seeing it is asbestos containing, and then I can figure out if I just gotta get price quotes or go out to bid.
Okay.
As soon as he gets that back to me, we can find a direction, hopefully get moving on that, and get that closed out.
Referring to the now defunct Grand Hollow
Yes.
Bloomfields.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of the work we can do in-house except for the demo of the asbestos containing material.
Good step forward there. Thank you. Jonathan?
Diane and I went out and visited Jody Perrier's White Knight Kennels. What was the town again? What's the town it's in?
Shazy.
Shazy, it is. I always mix up with that. We both thought it was really great. I actually spoke with one of the ladies from Elmore, and she agreed that where he's going is going to be good. He's got really grand visions of like kind of being there for the whole county and actually kind of taking some of the weight off of Elmore when it comes to adoptions.
Nice.
It's a little more than I thought it was going to be, so I suggested could we just use my dog control budget, which still doesn't cover it, but it's still cheaper than what we pay Elmore for strays.
Right.
Now we could use them for strays. I wouldn't recommend it because it's just so much further, and we're one of the few towns that is allowed to use. It would save us $1,000 or something. But I think it's best to split the two, using for dangerous dogs. It's about $5,000 on the contract. About 6 towns are already doing it. Plattsburgh, not in Plattsburgh, maybe Diana kills you on all this. So, but I think it's a good idea, and I think what he's doing is going to be good.
So our next step on that project will be getting an agreement that we can get a review of that.
Yep.
That doesn't appear to be something that take a lot of time. So I think we'll likely have an opportunity to discuss it with the contract, maybe at our work session in May.
Tuesday?
Well, yeah, because then we can get a, right, Chaka, we were talking, then we can get a resolution for that following Monday to have it, so because it expires the 30th of June, and sooner the better.
Perfect.
Right?
You.
Right, isn't that what we were,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you for donating your $3,000 to it. That was
Yeah, this will bring the Eagle Feather agreement and service to an end, and it will come with some additional budgetary impact, at least this year. But I believe, as we've discussed it, it will allow us to continue to be supportive of Elmore SPCA at the same time that our dangerous dogs will be handled appropriately by the
Easy. No travel much.
So I'm over that way. Big deal. So.
And I think it might be fair to say that, if you care to comment, Chaka, but how often do you have a dangerous dog incident in our township?
I mean, my watch, I've only had 2, I think. Maybe 3 if you count one that was from our town but dumped in another town. So that would be 4 because that was a 2-dog issue.
So it's not something that is an everyday occurrence, but nevertheless, the service itself has to be available to the town. New regulations, they all come with a cost. Tyler?
Tomorrow we're going to pick up the tracks and adjusters for the excavator that's been sitting idle in the shop for about 2 months, I'd say. So we're moving ahead on that, getting that back together, hopefully end of the week, maybe next week. We got some other work we got to do before we prioritize that in, but then we can start doing some big digging. I know Mike's been talking about some culvert jobs. The guys have been working on Telegraph, and in between, when I get a free hand, I got a guy helping me keep continuing servicing these trucks we got. one on the lift now, and then probably 3 more to go, and then the trucks will be ready, complete for summer.
Good job.
Kristen, I know you have an exciting season ahead.
So we closed out all the old sports, and guess what? Baseball, softball's here, and the rain's kind of stopped. We're hoping. So we had our draft last night. As of right now, it looks like we'll have 3 Pee Wee boy teams, 3 Grasshopper boy, 2 Pee Wee girls, 3 Grasshopper girls, a Pony girls. Unfortunately, I only have 4 boys signed up for pony baseball. That seems to be a common theme after having the meeting with county and discussing how the pony baseball team, we tried bringing it back last year. We actually had enough for 2 of our own teams, and the combo team between Binghamtown and I forget where the other one, they kind of folded, and we picked up games here and there. So for us to go from 2 teams to 4 players, it's kind of a conundrum, but you know, kids age up and out, and they look for other things, so I get it. Right now we have 4 T-ball teams. I have the schedule set for that. I'm just missing 2 coaches, but I always reach out to all the parents and say this, you know, please, you know, and if anybody out here would like to be a T-ball coach, feel free. It's probably, I don't know, between that and mini mites, it's probably the most fun I've ever had with them. Arts and crafts, all the other summer activities, see?
Thinking about it.
Everything else is set. I reached out to our arts and crafts, so we have that covered. Right now, basketball I'm still waiting to hear from, but it shouldn't be a problem. I've got covered one way or another. Tennis/pickleball is still my giant conundrum. We had absolutely somebody phenomenal for years, and then unfortunately she's just not able. And so for the last 2 years we had a nice young gentleman, but due to his college schedule it doesn't work. So I'm just waiting, and I do have a couple of different options. You know, if it comes down to it, we'll have something for those kids for those 4 days. Summer employees, employment, I have 20 people signed up right now. I'm going to reach out to those that have already been an employee with us. They pretty much get their jobs back. We don't re-interview, and then we'll go from there as to who we can put where and where those kids are. It's been fun for me to see because I know just about every single kid who signed up for it this year in one way, shape, or form. I watched them come through all of our either soccer, baseball, softball. It's fantastic to see. So, and county's been very involved. They have their umpire program set up. They're going to be doing their umpire training May 23rd and 24th here at Lapham's. They have a 5 o'clock game and 6:30 game Friday night, and then I believe it's a 9 and a 10:30 games on Saturday. So that will push off with their umpires. We'll get the schedule for the season May 23rd, and then right at the beginning of June we start baseball, softball. Soccer registration, we push that off just a little bit because usually we put that with everything, and then we see this huge influx right around July or August. Hey, can we still sign up? Hey, can we sign up? And I inevitably sign up anywhere between 75 and 100 kids. So we kind of put that on the back burner. That will go up mid-June. That way we're not continuously having to be overwhelmed.
Perfect.
So, any questions?
Great report.
What are you doing with assistants? See, roll that as you can.
I do have a thought process to an assistant for the summer. I'm going to run that by the board. We do have an upcoming meeting. I would like to get it rolling before that if I could, so I may put it out into a message with everybody and just get a feeler for it, and then go from there.
So you're looking for one for the whole year, not different sports?
Just for the different seasons, so this
Okay.
would be just like a soccer season.
Yep.
Unfortunately, basketball fell through. I had someone, and then a couple of days prior to the season starting, unfortunately, there were some outside issues that precluded her from
Yeah, that's
taking
good.
the position, so that's okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Same as last year.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris. Good question. Thanks.
Kristen, are you having a meeting? Nobody sent me anything.
No, but, so she had pulled her email, and she had emailed everybody for the one meeting that we were supposed to have the other day, and she had left 3 people off of the email list. So I'll have her resend out the email with everything on it as to when because the next meeting, I believe, should be whatever the scheduled meeting was.
That's on the board then.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I believe. If we have to have an emergency meeting prior to that to get some things clarified and taken care of, we'll do the standard wait time so that it gets published correctly before we have the meeting, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Bob, you're up?
Yeah, I'll
I'd
stand
like to,
up.
I'd like
John,
to just
stand up.
recognize Bob became a married gentleman over the weekend, so I think we should all
Thanks.
congratulate him.
The other thing I got is, I'd like to get with Pam to see if we can get a plaque for Richard Williams. Richard's gonna be resigning from the planning board. He's actually moving out of town, and he's been on the planning board for 20 years or more. And I think that's probably deserving of a plaque or something. He's actually gonna be moving, he's moving down to South Carolina, closer to his family. But that's the only thing I have. I think the board probably would, I'm sure I have something in the budget that we can get him a nice plaque, but. Okay.
Certificate.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council members for our department heads?
Hello.
Please then, move on to public comments, item number 18. Is there anyone in the audience this evening that wishes to add any comments on agenda items? That being the case, if there are none, we'll move on to item 19. Ask for permission to put the resolution to pay the bills on the table.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
A resolution authorizing the post audit payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town. Whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in April 2025 from Town of Peru. Vouchers for April 2025, number 2025-00543, through including number 2025-00604. Abstract dated April 24th, 25, for the dollar amount totaling $212,603.68. Of that, $15,570.68 was wired credit cards and prepaid, and $197,033 was remaining to be paid for April 2025. Whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable and form a reasonable amount, now therefore be resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make such payment and being further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yeah.
Mr. Dukenix?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Item 20, I actually, my supervisor did not have any need for an executive session. I asked if any of the council members have such.
I do not.
Nothing.
If not, we'll go items 20 and 21, and I'll ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Make it.
Jim,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We adjourn.
Gentlemen, this is